Gentlemen, it's 7 o'clock, so we will call this meeting to order. Mayor Skinner is on the phone, and I'll ask him to just kind of give a quick hello, and he can tell you he's got quite an honor. He's serving as a delegate. I believe it's the Southern Mayor's Conference. Mr. Mayor, would you update us?
That's correct. Thanks, Randy. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for City Council. Sorry I cannot be with you this evening, but it has been an honor to serve at the Southern Mayor's Conference. First time West Virginia has hosted this conference, and it's been really nice to meet folks from across the South and share commonalities and strengths and weaknesses and challenges that we face. And so I was one of 5 mayors in West Virginia to be able to cast votes on behalf of the state of West Virginia at this conference. So it's been very good. And again, I'm sorry I can't be with you, but this has been a really nice experience, and I appreciate you all accommodating this evening so that we could get our strategic issues for discussion out early so I can get back to it. So with that, Randy, I will turn it over to you. Thank you, sir. And if you wouldn't mind to open the meeting and have the pledge, then we'll start into the strategic issues.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. We'll first pause, of course, for the traditional moment of silence. Thank you. And if you will all stand and join us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So as Mayor Skinner alluded, we are going to move the strategic issues for discussion and our vote up to the beginning of the meeting so that he can participate in these without objection. Let the minutes reflect we have done so. And the first thing up on the docket will be F1, accept and approval, execution of engagement of Steptoe and Johnson PLLC to serve as note counsel for the bond anticipation notes, which are contemplated for the USDA permanent financing regarding the City of Buckhannon Stockard Youth and Community Center building project. Now, joining us on the phone, we have Tom O'Neill, who will join us in person as well. We have C.J. Rollins, City Council member, Mayor Skinner, as we heard from, Katie Cooper from Buckhannon, and Tom Amon from Steptoe and Johnson. So, Tom Amon, would you like to give an overview of this engagement of Steptoe and Johnson PLLC? You're muted, Tom.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
When that happens. Thank you. So you'll recall there is an existing, get this over the right camera, they have 2 monitors. You'll recall there's an existing engagement letter with the city and the building commission for this project that was put in place some months ago when we started down this path with financing. This letter is almost identical to that prior engagement letter, except it's specifically for the bond anticipation notes. At the time of the prior letter, we weren't sure whether interim financing would be needed, and so there would be 2 separate engagements. The existing engagement for the USDA, the permanent financing, if that ultimately occurs, and then this engagement for the interim financing, which you're pursuing now. And so same terms for both engagements, both letters.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, you have any comments, or Mr. O'Neill? We'll start with the Mayor.
No, sir. For those who might be in the room who were at the building commission meeting earlier, this is a very, very similar exercise. And just for the knowledge and the minutes to reflect, the building commission did positively vote to support their piece this evening of entering into bond counsel with Steptoe and Johnson. So I just wanted to make that available for the minutes and for anyone who was not at both meetings.
And I would just add that this does not replace the existing, I think that was mentioned, this does not replace the existing engagement, it really just expands it slightly. And Tom, what about the rate or the compensation part of it? What does this do to that?
So it's the same, it's basically what we have is two transactions now. So we've got it broken out into the note, which is being done now, and then the permanent financing, which will ultimately be done with USDA. Unfortunately, it's duplication of work. You know, I, along with council and the building commission, have to go through the same process 2 different times, one for the interim and then one for the permanent financing. And so it's basically 2 separate fees.
Okay.
Question from council?
If appropriate, Mr. Sanders, I would move that we engage Steptoe & Johnson and authorize the execution of the appropriate documents.
Okay, we have a motion by McCauley, a second by Bucklew. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Very good, motion carries. That takes us to F2, consideration of adoption on the first reading of the following entitled, Ordinance 465 relating to the temporary financing of the design, acquisition, construction, and equipping of improvements and additions to the City of Buckhannon's Stockard Youth and Community Center. Mr. O'Neill, I think you...
Sure, I can.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll speak to that. For the benefit of members of council, just like when we went through this with the new street garage out of Budlick, the overall, I'll go through the overall view of what we're doing here, and then Tom Amon can kind of speak to the details. But we'll be conveying the Stockard, the property for the new Stockard expansion to the Building Commission. The Building Commission will then be the entity which secures the financing. The city will then lease the property from the Building Commission and operate it. The city will also be the agent for the Building Commission in terms of the operational aspects of construction, bidding and bid opening, and et cetera. And we'll have authority to sign certain documents on behalf of the Building Commission. The Building Commission will retain, to the degree that it chooses to, some measure of involvement or oversight in the questions. That's the 30,000-foot view, and I'll turn it over to Tom to fill in any details that he'd like.
Thank you, Tom. So this ordinance, of course, the city currently owns the property. It authorizes the conveyance of the property for the project to the Building Commission, and we'll need to work through, I think, in consultation with USDA and your city attorney and others, whether just the new building that's going to be constructed, whether that parcel will be carved out from the larger parent tract and only that parcel serving as security for repayment of bonds, or whether it would be the whole site. And so that discussion will be ongoing, but this ordinance is not getting into the weeds on that particular issue. It would authorize either approach. So it authorizes that conveyance. It authorizes the Building Commission to move forward with its role in issuing the bonds, an amount not to exceed $5 million. You'll recall, of course, the somewhat emotional discussions that were previously had regarding the amount. And I think you all decided on the $4 million number, and working with Stockard and the Building Commission at that joint meeting. This does have the $5 million, but it's by way of authorization only. And it's just so in the event that these bids come back and council and the Building Commission were to decide to change their mind in some fashion, even if we had to go over $1 over $4 million, If the amount were limited to that in these ordinances, we'd have to start the process over again, which would be approximately a month and a half, including the building commission, to get that wrapped up. And if you've got a bid hold period out there, that's to be problematic from a timing standpoint. So this just would give the city flexibility to go to increase beyond that $4 million, although certainly no obligation to do so. Hopefully I'm still on there, but
You are,
maybe somebody
yes.
dropped off.
Yes, Tom O'Neill dropped off because he's here in person now.
Okay. And so it also authorizes, what obviously I mentioned, that the property be conveyed by the city to the building commission. It also authorizes a lease agreement between the building commission and the city, wherein the building commission would lease the property to the city, and the city would pay lease rentals directly to the bond owner that would repay the debt service associated with bonds, and also provide for operation and maintenance of the facility by the city. It's basically a triple net lease. As Tom had mentioned, the building commission's actions and city action here is authorizing the city to take the lead as far as being the contracting party, handling the bidding of the project, the requisitioning of the funds, but the building commission will retain a role in oversight if they'd like to be present when things happen, whatever level you all decide, working in consultation with them is appropriate as far as getting them comfortable about what's occurring. It also authorizes the publication of a legal ad, and so after this reading, but prior to, we don't have time due to the way the Record Delta publishes. We'll publish a legal ad 2 different times, and then at your meeting in December, you all would take this up for a public hearing and then second reading and consider it on final enactment for the city's ordinance. This would not be the final official action, so that once bids are solicited and obtained for the construction financing, the interim financing, there would be a supplemental resolution of both the city and the building commission that would be considered that would approve who that, if there's the most favorable terms that are offered to you all and the building commission for the financing. So that would, in all likelihood, occur some point in time after those bids come back, and you all have time to consider that. That's a general overview. I'm happy to try to answer any specific questions that you all may have.
Any questions from Mr. Heyman?
Mr. Sanders, if appropriate, I would move that we approve on the first of 2 readings ordinance 465.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by McCauley, second by Rigger. Mr. Mayor, did you have any comments you wanted to make during the discussion part?
No, sir. I just want to thank Mr. Heyman for all of his hard work, and appreciate him being a part of tonight's meeting, and I appreciate we have this moving forward. So, Tom, thank you very much.
Thank
Okay.
you. Appreciate working with you all.
If there's no further discussion or comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 And those opposed, same sign. And motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That takes us down to one remaining strategic issue for discussion and a vote, and that's F3, approval to convert municipal stabilization fund to a certificate of deposit, higher interest account, and approval of mayor and director of finance as authorized signature. Amby, would you like to provide more of an overview?
This comes up from the discussion at the last meeting that Dave Thomas had investing the rainy day funds into a higher interest-bearing account. What I would need is permission. The banks will ask me for where I have authority to look for those funds, and I just need a motion from council to let me solicit those banks. They're ever-changing accounts. We just renewed some for over 5% recently, but I don't know they've changed so much. But I need permission from council that the 2 signatures will be the mayor and myself on the CDs, and I do have permission to seek the CDs at a higher rate.
I'll make that motion, Randy.
Okay, we have a motion by Thomas. Is there a second? Second by Buckhannon. Any discussion or other comment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. That takes care of all strategic issues for discussion or vote. Mayor, what's your schedule like? Are you able to hang on for a couple more minutes?
So I'm probably about 5 or 6 minutes away from I gotta get back
Okay.
to it. We were a little ahead of schedule today, so this works out. But I really appreciate you allowing for this to take place early. And to the fire department and Ethan, I'm sorry I can't be there. I texted JB earlier in the week, so I want to congratulate you and thank you for your service. And I'll stop by the fire department when I get back to town. I'm not sure what your schedule is, but I'll stop by the fire department when I get back to town tomorrow. So.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we appreciate you being a part of this, and we congratulate you on your selection as a delegate. Thank you for always representing Buckhannon great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for running the meeting, and I wish you all a quick rest of your meeting and a good weekend, and we'll see you when I get home.
All right. Safe travels.
Here, Mayor. Randy?
Yes.
David again. I talked to Andy this week. She's also in the process of reviewing all the other revenue-producing accounts to determine whether we can do some other opportunities too, and that we'll take that before the Revenue and Expense Committee or Board at some point in time.
Okay, thank you for those comments, David. Okay, now, Chief J.B. Kimball, there's quite an honor that's going to take place this evening, and I want to thank everyone who came for that particular ceremony. Thank you for your patience. You got to see city government work there in person. We held you captive. Yeah.
The reason why they don't come back to the next meeting.
Chief, take it away.
So tonight we're here to honor Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith was, as my full term as a chief, was the first individual that was hired under my chiefism. At that point in time, he was a very young man, came from Elkins, had to move away from his family, kind of grew up pretty quick. Ethan has been daunted with the task of going through all the training that's required, the written tests that civil service requires, and Ethan has really grown up in the past 5.5 years. We were just discussing outside his father, when Ethan got pinned as a probationary firefighter, Ethan was late getting here, if you remember. So we had to make sure Ethan got here on time tonight so we didn't get in trouble again. But Ethan was a vital part in the award that we recently received. It just shows that we're like a family. We're growing up. He's one of my kids, and he's raised up good. So tonight we're here to honor him. He has passed the lieutenant's test. This will make us fully staffed at this point with 3 a shift, with 2 officers and a firefighter. That way, if an officer takes vacation, there's still an officer to make decisions if I'm not there, or if they're on a call and I'm somewhere else. So it just makes us feel a lot more comfortable with those decision-making people in place. So here we are tonight to honor Ethan, and I'm proud of him.
Okay, well, who's going to be doing the pinning?
Ms. Smith, come on up.
Oh, this is going to be great. Well, then, center of the room right here. No, we want to come up here. If you don't mind, if you guys, everyone, if you look towards me, if you come up here, it'll be centered so the seal will be behind Ethan for the photograph.
Like herding cats here.
That's right.
Like herding cats.
Yep.
Yeah. And we want to get some photos, the media.
So, badge and pins.
All right.
You have the pins. Uh-oh.
It's all right.
Leave your mom alone.
If she needs to, I bet she'll whip out a needle and thread.
Yep, there you go.
Sew that thing in.
There it was. That's turn. Get your glasses, please. There we go.
All right, let's all, that's great. We've been a little
Move in.
closer, Dad. And then so I'll walk you in a second. Got a photo over here, if you guys will look towards that camera. Okay. And then if you look towards me. Perfect. Congratulations. Any other members of the fire department want to come forward and have a photo with the fire department members?
Come on up.
Come on up.
Mr. Sanders.
Get a picture taken. Come on.
Hey, thank you very much. Congratulations. Congratulations. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the chief said it's his family. Let's get the other family members
Get
up
the
there.
hat on first.
All right, act like you like each other. Right here first, everybody look here. All right, everybody look towards me, please. Excellent. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you all. I'd make everybody stay with their name there.
What's that?
I'd make everybody stay for the rest of the
Yeah.
I think I made a good hire.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you're also welcome to leave. Have some celebrating to do.
I got one.
I will.
back there. Look at that.
I will, David. Thank you.
I have to.
Congratulations again. Sorry. I should have made him stay till you're finished, Meredith. But, all right, next on recognized guests, we have Westview Wesleyan College Student Senate Representative Meredith Cottrell. Going to bring us up to date, all things Wesleyan.
Yes. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Hello, Meredith.
So on Halloween, students trick-or-treated for canned goods for the parish house, and we gathered up to 1,094 cans, and 170 students participated. And on November 4th, Wesleyan will be hosting the Boy Scout Merit Badge Workshop. Also on November 4th at 2 p.m., the Office of Diversity and Equity and Inclusion will host a Japanese art and culture workshop in the DEI office. Also on November 4th at 6:30 p.m., WDWC Theater will be hosting a murder mystery dinner at the Opera House. On November 5th at 4 p.m., Fall concert entitled The British Invasion will be held in Wesley Chapel. There is currently an art exhibition in the Sleep Gallery entitled Self-Awareness and Introduction to Labor. It opened yesterday. In athletics, we are starting to wrap up women's and men's soccer, volleyball, and football. Women's and men's basketball will start soon, so please check our website and details. All the games are free for you guys to attend. Students will be heading out for Thanksgiving break from November 18th to the 26th. We will have a few students that cannot go home, so please let us know if there's any church or community dinners that these students can partake in. Our Bobcat Entertainment appreciates the opportunity to partner with many businesses in Buckhannon. We have hosted student parties at Skateland and Upshur Cinemas, and coming soon, students will head to Woody's Bowling Center and the ice rink on Main Street. I want to point out this event, which will occur before the next council meeting I attend. So on December 3rd at 4 p.m., you're invited to attend our Festival of Lessons and Carols in Wesley Chapel. It'll be followed by Aladdin's Holiday Dinner, which anyone can attend and pay at the door. So our students just want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving holiday. Is there anything else you guys need to ask?
I'm going to ask you a question. How many students do you think is actually going to be remaining on campus during Thanksgiving break?
That's a really good question. Probably our international students, students that live pretty far away, probably will stay around. So probably a big percentage since our international students have went up. So I would say 100. I feel like most. So.
Any other questions for Meredith? I will highly recommend the Aladdin Food Sources. When they have a holiday meal,
Yeah.
they usually
yeah.
something, for the Christmas season.
Yeah.
I tell you, they really do a nice job, and it's reasonably priced. I'm not sure what the price would be, but it's reasonably priced too for the citizens of this area to take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity. So get a group of folks together and go join in.
People can actually go there in the public.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can, yeah. So, okay. Thank you so much, Meredith.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, department reports, Mr. Jerry Arnold. You got a lot to tell us this evening, it looks like.
One singular item to report on this evening. The mayor and I met with the superintendent and assistant superintendent of County Schools on Monday to discuss, there was a request from the Buckhannon Police Department in relationship to eliminating parking on East Victoria Street during pickup times at the Academy School. And the board wanted us to meet with the school board, the consolidated board wanted us to meet with the school board and discuss options and call for help if needed to develop their property to allow for more parking. We kind of brought them up to speed with the partnerships that we've had in the past with raising of the structure down at Smithfield Street at the board offices to allow more parking, as well as the two structures that we took down on East Victoria Street to allow for that. In our conversations, they relayed to us that they have a plan in place that kind of staggers pickup times for non-bus students. So they believe that's going to take care of it, but we did offer our assistance in a plan to develop the areas that we took the houses down last year there on East Victoria to assist in a design and just something for them to look at or to consider to have a more permanent solution to the problem. Because again, and I'll just tell you from our conversations with them, there are parents that are lining up as early as 12:30 in the afternoon to pick their kids up at 3:15. And so the issues have been traffic backing up onto Route 20 and causing a safety issue there for everyone. So again, the board is aware of it. They're working on a remedy, and we're going to assist in any way possible to make it a permanent solution for parking there. The congestion there is not only on East Victoria Street, but also on Smithfield, on that same block. So again, there's more to come on that. We'll have more to report as we progress, but they have a plan in place.
But the big takeaway is we have a seat at the table.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did they give you a timeline?
Did not. No, they said they were working on it, and they were aware of the problem, and they were working to alleviate the problem.
I know on the public safety aspect of that, I've been up there a few times, and some of the serious concerns I have is if, first of all, if we have a call to school, you cannot access that school at all. Second of all, it makes it very vulnerable for people at that school if we did have an active shooter incident, because they're just sitting ducks. They're piled in there, nobody can go anywhere, so it's just a bad situation. And the third thing is, like Jerry said, they're backing clear up into Route 20, and traffic is stopped on Route 20 because people are just sitting there waiting.
And there again, I come back to that, blocking a main highway, I used the analogy of just stopping in the middle of the 4-lane.
Yes.
It's a little bit of an exaggeration from what we're doing, but logical people would not block a major thoroughfare waiting on to pick up their child. Their child will be there 10 minutes later, so you circle the block and you come back. But, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it's until there's stacking lanes or there has to be some other changes made. We can't just eliminate parking on a street and fix the problems, what I'm getting at.
I don't recall, about 3 weeks ago, I was driving by Buckhannon Academy at 2:30 in the afternoon, and traffic was already backed up on 20, and I had to veer over into the yellow stripes where you're not supposed to go, and it's a major problem. And I would hope that the school system would do their due diligence and get this addressed. It did not used to be as much of a problem, but from my understanding, they did make some changes that have exacerbated the situation. And they need to address it because it is a hazardous situation any way you look at it.
Used to, they had a gate that was open and allowed parents to hit the 2:15 mark to pull into the rear parking lot, and they filled that parking lot up. Well, they started not opening that gate now to like 3:10 to allow those parents in, which that backs everything up. But still, on my concerns,
Well, certainly.
if we have an incident at school and that back parking lot's full, we cannot access the school for anything.
Do we have any data to know if it's a part of the situation is a lot of families are electing not to use the buses? They prefer to have kind of chauffeur driving. You think that's part of it?
Oh, yeah, they're not riding the school transportation. That's why the cars are there.
And then you have...
I mean, I meant the question to be, has there been a sharp increase in that over the last year or two?
That I couldn't answer that.
Yeah. That's number one. My other question is, with traffic being backed up on Route 20, is that a state police issue, or is that a county?
That's a law enforcement issue.
It's a law enforcement, it'd be state or county, right?
Well, it could be
Probably
state,
state.
county, or
It's still in the city.
Or even city, but still the city
But
limits?
it's impeding traffic. I mean, that's number one. That's, you know, if you stop in when we have the big yard sales, you know, I was with Burton Miller when he was chief down here, and I've seen people on Canal Street just stop in the middle of Canal Street to go to their yard sale.
Yeah.
They get a ticket for impeding traffic because they've caused a serious safety concern on a major thoroughfare. And so that's what it amounts to. And again, you know, I don't want to speak for the mayor, but I can tell you that a lot of the consensus out there was the city's created this problem. And the city did not create this problem in any way, shape, or form. And the other issue here too is we have buses picking up kids at the same time, so you block the College Avenue loop because there's no parents picking up on that side. So you've narrowed it down, as JB said now, to a very specific time frame, and you have all of these folks, and I would venture to say there's 250 cars at times that I know when we were working up there, you could not, as JB said, there is absolutely no way that you could get down that street to the school. When we were working there, we actually had to stay on site until after the kids were picked up and the parents had gotten off of the street for us to even get our trucks out of there. So it is a problem. Like I said, we have met with, and they've assured us they've got a plan in place, but we're going to follow through with offering up some plans of our own for solutions.
So I think, okay, so the big takeaway is this is a Board of Education issue. The city is doing its best to assist in every way possible.
We were trying to assist in mitigation. Yes, sir.
But we did not create the problem.
We did not create the problem.
No, there was some out there that we said that they could only line up on this certain street. The city of Buckhannon said that they couldn't line up on. That is not at all.
Not at all.
That has never been
Yeah.
the case.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Jerry, as part of your meeting, was there any conversation with the powers that be at the board office relative to resuming of bus drop-offs of students at Stockard Youth Center. Did that come up at all?
It did, they did. I guess there was some concern over, because again, I guess that there's been some discussion about staggered pickup and drop-off times, and there was some discussion about how would that affect, or would that affect Stockard's programs, and they assured us that it wouldn't affect Stockard's programs at all.
I understood from Deborah Brockelman that we had been using our buses overtime to go get kids at more facilities to bring them to Stockard after school because someone had said that they weren't going to drop kids off at Stockard using the school buses anymore. I was just curious.
No, I didn't hear, wasn't privy to a conversation like that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Anything else from Jerry? Thanks for the report, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Your report?
Okay. All right, Finance Director Amby Jenkins. And pull that microphone up right in front of you. Can you move it? Okay.
Okay, I'll give you your balances for the month of October. This is general fund and money market, $1,165,000, and you still have the $86,000 CD. Historic landmark savings, $3,030. Stockard Youth Center capital campaign remains at $443,000. We have a $12,000 pledge setting on the side there. Coal tax, $38,000. Municipal stabilization, $921,000. Flood control account, $78,000. Consolidated Public Works Board, $145,000. That's in the money market and checking. And then the cemetery CD is at $235,000. Sales tax is at $1,758,000. The American Rescue Plan account is at $1,212,000. You had revenues and expenditures for the month of October. Revenues were $700,580. Your expenditures were $567,670. So $132,000 more in revenues and expenditures. We did receive a $15,000 payment from the county. That's their annual payment towards the fire department. We got that in during this that period of time. You have bills in your packet to be approved. One's worth noting, Citizens First Fire Training. Alpha Door for training fire department was $12,000. Argos for the bulk cement for our concrete mixing truck was $3,804. Benjamin Arisman for mowing of city lots, $3,330, and I believe that went through October the 8th. I'm not sure if that's his last payment. That would be his last payment. Then you also have in your packet the Stockard report that I promised to give you each year that shows, or each month, I'm sorry, that shows you the activities that's going on in the building, where the activity is and how many people are participating. And then just an update, you authorized me to seek financing quotes for the police department radios. And we did get a bank back that was interested in that, and the interest rate is 5.95%. That's better than, I think they were 12 to 17%, depending on the type of financing we got from the Motorola company. That's all.
Okay. Any questions for Amby? Thank you, Amby. Fire Chief J.B. Kimball. Back
Good evening,
at it.
everybody.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let Lieutenant John Brugnoli step up so he can lead, but John is our fire prevention officer. He's the one in October that organized all our school events, our pumpkin drops. So he did a fine job this year. We had a lot of good times with the kids. So I'll let him get up here and report on what we did and where we've been.
Okay, great. Welcome, sir.
I'll keep it quick. I promised under 20 minutes.
Under 20?
Yeah.
All right, you got 22 minutes.
Okay. October's a busy month for us. We were all over the place. I consider October the second busiest time of the year for us, just activity-wise, right next to the Strawberry Festival. This year, we started it out, hitting it hard first week. 5 years ago when I took over, when the chief took the chief role, he relinquished the duties to me, we bought 1,000 helmets that year, and we had helmets left over. This year, we bought 2,500 helmets, so we would have some left over. We were talking to upwards of 1,500 children. That's just K through 5 this year. That's all in our first due area. That encompasses Academy School, Tennerton. We do a lot of the Head Starts, daycares, all the elementary schools we have. We had a great homeschool group come in this year that we had never had before. So we were all over the place. This year they wanted us to hit hard on cooking safety. Cooking safety starts with you is what we talked big on to all the kids. So we hit all the hot topics, dial 911, stop, drop, and roll. We always get somebody in the uniform, get them out there, let the kids grab hold of the gear, see what it feels like. You always have a few of the little kids that are, kind of reluctant to get close, but it helps them learn to not be afraid of the gear. So they all like the lights. Some of them are afraid of the gear. We participated in a safety day at Lowe's. Lowe's every year generally gives us a great donation of smoke detectors that we are able to go and hang up for people. This year they gave us a large quantity of smoke detectors and some home fire extinguishers. So be on the lookout. If you're not following our Facebook page, follow our Facebook page. We're going to do some giveaways for some home-size fire extinguishers to some people. That's always great. Firefighter Shane Jenkins, he was at West Virginia Wesleyan College for a mock fire safety for the early education class this October. That was the first time we had ever done that. He said it was a good time, so he was down there. We had several pumpkin drops. It used to be we would do one at Academy, and that was it. And now the fire department does several throughout the county. Of course, we have the only ladder truck throughout the county, but other departments are getting a hold of us, asking us if we can help them out. The schools love them. The kids love them. They paint the pumpkins up. They put them in all kinds of costumes and boxes, and they think they can save it, but not many pumpkins make it from about 50 feet up. So, and they get a kick out of it. All the teachers usually dress up, and they give
Creating engineers, that's what we're creating.
Yeah, they give us a big countdown, so they give us the 3, 2, 1 countdown, and they love it. And it's just one more way that we can get out and see the kids, because it's all about the kids. That was our month of October. We're going to come up soon with some Christmas parades and stuff like that. So I've already talked to Santa. He's coming to town.
Is he?
Yep.
All right, good work, good work. Question, I did have a question.
All right.
So somebody that wants to talk to the fire department about the parade, about participating in the parade, they call the non-emergency number, and is there anyone specific that they ask for? Or?
Nope. They don't need to sign up or anything special if they want details.
Yeah.
I think the chief's going to hit on the parade a little bit.
Okay.
I'm still a little bit of his thunder here. The parade is it's nothing special. The fire department has the only Santa Claus. That's the only thing we ask. The lineup is always over towards the Goodwill parking lot, so we'll have people there to help you line up. Starting at, I believe it's 5 o'clock this year, right? 5:30. Yeah, 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
okay.
easy. We're easy to get along with.
6:30.
Yeah. The parade kicks off though. Start time is 6:30.
The sharp 6:30.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But
If you want to show up at 4:30, you can, but you might be there by yourself.
you'll be sitting in the parking lot. But yeah, just call the fire department, 472-2868, and we can give you any information you need to know.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Thank y'all.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
fill us in on all the other information.
As normal in your packet, you can look at this is back through September. So the month of September and the year-to-date up through September, we're a little, about 4% lower than last year. Of course, I spoke last month, we did get rid of some non-emergency responses. So some of the stuff, the tree down calls, we made an agreement with DOH. That is actually, whoever's road it is, it's their responsibility. And if they have a storm that goes through and there's multiple trees down, they can ask for us and we will go help them. But the fire department is not the first out on a tree in the road anymore. So that's cut a lot of non-essential calls for us, and getting people up in the middle of the night that as we continue down the accreditation route and looking at what we should be doing and what we're good at, not everybody's a parasol person anymore. And, we don't want to have workers' comp issues because somebody had a parasol in their hand and they probably shouldn't have. So that being said, anything in the report there, typical, slow month is usually in September, but we're gearing up now. October, November, December through March is usually the more fire season. Then August and September is usually slow for fires, but more car wrecks, people out, leaf peeping and everything else. So a couple other things I want to talk about. The Christmas parade, like I said, is December 1st. It's always the first Friday in December. We will provide Santa. Santa will be on the ladder truck. The only thing we don't ask, we're not big on political stances in the parade. It's about the kids. It's not about anything else. And the kids are invited to come and see Santa at the firehouse afterwards. The Buckhannon Fire Department Christmas dinner is the second Saturday of the month, December 9th. We want to invite council to that. It's a big time at the fire department. 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, I'm sorry, we eat.
December 9th,
Yeah, December 9th.
Okay.
So you're more than welcome to come to it.
What time was that?
6 o'clock, sir.
And if I come at 4:30, would you have some things ready?
You can help us deep fry turkeys.
There you go.
So, yeah, we always have something going on that day. We're all down there. We'll have Mexican chip dip and, stuff like that to snack on all day long. Couple things that today had a really good meeting with the Upshur County Commission. There's some grant money that's coming down the path from the state of West Virginia EMS office for mental wellness programs, and it's for regional concepts, which is something we've been working on for about 16 months now. I've been to Randolph County and I spoke to the director of EMS over there. We got contribution from them. We got Upshur County, because it's a pass-through through the Upshur County Commission money from the state. We have their backing here. We're waiting to hear from Lewis County, so that's our regional concept to create a peer support system and some coaching within our region for mental wellness. So we're working on that. We continue down that path, and it's a 3-stage process. So if we get Lewis County on board, that amount of money will take care of about almost 2 stages of it. So it may be one of them things that we get. It's a 2-year process that this company is coming in to assist us with, that we get a contract for the first and second process, and then maybe we have to go back in budgetary years and ask for some money to finish it up. And it'll be a continual thing, I'm sure, as people retire or leave, as people get trained and stuff. So be aware of that. But a very good, positive meeting with the county today. John spoke on the fire prevention. Worked with Amby. We sent out the bids for the Connex boxes, which are the trailer boxes that we're going to use for our burn facility. Those are due next week, I think the 8th of November. So we sent those out to multiple companies that are around Ohio, Baltimore. Those are the places, actually, High Point, the Shaws can get them, so that locally there's some people who can vote on that. Another thing, I spoke to Jerry today about, so when we built the fire station, at that point in time, we thought maybe Madison Street was going to be our access to Route 20. And we put up these fire signals that we could push a button at the firehouse that alerted traffic that we were coming down Madison Street. We have not, actually one of them got demolished by a big truck, so there's only one left, and it's there by Speedway. So we haven't used it for several years because we do not use that path anymore. And Chief Himes from the Elkins Fire Department had contacted me. They are actually looking for something like that to use right there on their main avenue as they come out of their fire station. So I spoke to Jerry to see what maybe the best avenue is to do with that. I'll probably present it on the next council meeting for you all to look at, to possibly donate that to the Elkins Fire Department, because we do not use it anymore. So be aware of that. And one other big thing, if you remember back during budgetary time back in February, We spoke about self-contained breathing apparatus. We still have not heard a denial letter from our grant, which typically tells us that we didn't get the initial grants, but we're in the staging area in case somebody denies their grants. So actually, we had 2 companies come in and they dropped off air packs for us to try out. So we may be in the bidding process for that. So just be aware of that coming up. So our air packs are, if you remember, those are the ones we got free from California because they got a grant and got new ones. So they're 2002, 2003 models. So they're getting pretty deteriorated. So, but other than that, unless you have something for me.
CJ, or anyone here in the council chambers, any questions for the chief? I would think too, getting into the cold season, want to be aware of people vacant buildings and so
Yes.
forth.
Make sure your buildings are secure at this time of year. Also, as John said, we have smoke detectors. We responded to a house fire a week or so ago, and those individuals did not have working smoke detectors, and there is no excuse for that. We have free ones. We will come and install them. We have plenty of them. And even if you don't think you can put them up, we put them up for you.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
there's no excuse. When you look at statistics in fatalities and fires, 75% of the fatalities are due to not having smoke detectors in the residence. So it's a big chance of you surviving if you have them. So, yeah.
Very good. Good. Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
City Attorney Tom O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Recorder, members of council. It's good to be with you. I'll be brief. I just want to update you on the Wesleyan Property Exchange. That matter is in the hands of the surveyor and Wesleyan's counsel. We've done everything we can to kind of hit the ball out of our court on that, so we're waiting on their response. We met Mr. Seaman, who represents the college, and I met with Dale the other day to just review the college's decisions with respect to which parcels they're going to convey in whole and which ones are going to convey in part. Now Dale he's had now for a week or two the information that he needs to prepare the plats for the properties that are going to be conveyed in part, and Mr. Seaman will then convey the deed or prepare the deed for our review. I've already prepared the deed for our conveyance to Wesleyan, and he's reviewing that as well. So in anticipation of coming to a conclusion on this transaction, at the next, depending on how the timing works out, either at the next meeting or the first meeting in December, I'll have prepared for you the documents. We'll probably do it in the form of an ordinance to vacate the parts of Silver Bells Lane and Snow Goose Lane and Stewart Lane that are parts of the conveyance there. Of course, we've discussed wanting to reserve utility easements across those. I think we need to have a discussion about that, because I think the whole purpose of that is so that they can have those entire blocks that are done in order to develop. And I think having utility corridors running right through there the college may feel that it's going to impair their ability to use some of those lots. So we'll have to, I think we're going to have some further discussions about that. There's also, I wanted to make sure that you all were aware that a question was with respect to Stalker, the new Stalker expansion. The USDA has raised the issue of encumbering obviously not only the new construction, but also including the existing Stalker building on the deed of trust as part of the financing. That is something we're going to resist very strongly. I don't think there's any real justification for that. Now, we're going to take a position against the federal government. We're going to have to make sure that we, have all of our ducks in a row there. And I think that as long as the new construction is not physically connected to the existing building, in other words, if there is a breezeway or some kind of thing, there's going to have to be some kind of clean break or between the two structures. And as long as none of the bond proceeds are used to improve the existing building to any extent, we'll probably be able to avoid that. So we've put our marker down with USDA, and we're going to hold the line on that. Ultimately, though, I think it's, if push comes to shove, It is USDA, and they're kind of the key, to this financing. But I just wanted to make you aware that this has come up as an issue. We do have a position on it. We're going to maintain that position as long as we can and as hard as we can. Finally, and I think we've discussed this in a prior meeting, the state of West Virginia enacted a new law that can put municipalities, including municipalities like Buckhannon, Class 3 municipalities, on the hook for a share of the county's regional jail bills in certain circumstances. In order to limit the city's exposure to that, I'd propose undertaking a pretty comprehensive review of all of our criminal ordinances, or ordinances that have criminal penalties attached to violations, and working with Chief Gregory to determine which of those we might recommend to the council to be either repealed or have the jailable portion of the penalties removed from our ordinances, so that we can avoid the potential to receive a bill. A mayor reached out a couple weeks ago that he had received a heads up from the county commission that they may be sending us, or they will be sending us a bill at some point under that new state law. I'm not aware that we've received it yet, but again, just a couple things. It's only for offenses that are committed, that are arrests that are made by city police officers for crimes that could be charged under city ordinance. That's what's prompting the comprehensive review, but we're chosen to be run through magistrate court instead, and then we're only limited to, or we're limited to being on the hook for either 2 or 3 days of the incarceration costs. So we're not talking about a great deal of money here, I don't think. This kind of first invoice from the county will tell a lot, but there are we have cards to play as far as limiting our exposure under this act of the legislature. So more to come on that, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
There'll have to be a checks and balances on that. I mean, when you get the invoice, I guess.
We'll go through it. We're going to go through that with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that they're all just. We're not just going to. We're just not going to accept whatever's sent our way. We're going to audit. I will audit anything that comes our way and make sure that it's covered under the law.
Any questions? Any comments or questions for Tom? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, so we do have a notice accepting sealed bids for the Connex containers for the burn training facility under the correspondence information sheet. Kim did allude to that. Consent agenda. I want to break these apart and do it one item at a time. And as far as approval of minutes, we shared with you, we sent you the special minutes from March 1 of 2023 and October 2 of 2023. Those are the 2 sets of minutes we put up for approval tonight, unless there's questions or corrections that need to be made. If not, to have a motion to approve those 2?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Bucklew, a second by Rigger. All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, approval of building and wiring permits, and Mr. Rigger, you said you would abstain?
I have to abstain.
Okay, you have to abstain on this one. So, approval of building and wiring permits, that is in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
You have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by McCauley, a second by Bucklew. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that motion opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and please let the minutes reflect that Councilman Rigger abstained. And E3, approval of payment of bills that were presented in your packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Rigger, second by McCauley. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And that motion carries unanimously. That takes us through the agenda items, and of course, we already handled strategic issues. So, we are down to comments and announcements. So, Councilwoman Bucklew?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Robbie for representing Buckhannon so well. Other than that, I want to start an all-seasons decoration committee. And tentatively, I want to have my first meeting January 23rd on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We do well with our decorations downtown, but we could do some improvements, and it just needs people to get involved, and that's what I'm hoping that this will start, especially if it's going to be all seasons and not just Christmas or whatever. Want to do that. And also, just want to invite people out Saturday. The Elks Club, with some friends of the Elks, is doing a fundraiser for a very special friend of mine that are battling deadly cancer, Mark and Rhonda Sorella. So they're doing a spaghetti fundraiser for them on Saturday from 1 to 5 for $10. And anything we appreciate because they were diagnosed with deadly cancers within 3 weeks of each other. So they just need some support. So invite my friends.
And that's open to the public, because they all, you don't have to be a member of the Elks.
Right, yes.
For that event.
From 1 to
Okay.
5 on Saturday.
Sure.
I appreciate anybody who, if you don't want to eat, go give them a donation of anything would help. So, because she was still working, she's so that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pam. Mr. McCauley?
Just want to thank everybody that came out for the Colonial Arts Center dedication. It was a very special evening, and anxious to see us have that same opportunity with our Stockard building maybe in a year or so, We can always hope, right? I'd like the council to consider something. You can't take action on it tonight because it's not on the agenda, but we have 3 or 4 property matters that have long been languishing. I don't need to spell it all out, but it's similar to what we have with the Revenue Sharing Enhancements Committee, whatever we call it.
Revenue Review.
Revenue Review Committee. Maybe we could have a Property Action Committee. And some of us, I'd volunteer to serve on it, some of us who have been involved in real estate substantially over the years, it's a lot to expect just the mayor or just the city attorney to come up with a plan of action with some of these things. But I'm concerned about the jet out at Stockard. I'm concerned about an issue with a piece of property that's part of our operations down on Madison Street. And there's a couple of others too that we just, I keep asking about them and we just kind of keep kicking the can down the road with, that don't have anything to report. Well, let's shake things up. That's just my thoughts on the matter.
Okay.
And I think the other thing that we're all aware of, Jerry on his cell phone, he's left us this evening, he can show you at any given point in time how many months, days, hours, minutes, seconds he has left before he takes his retirement from the city. I think that's about March, April of 2025, so it's still a year out. But let's not wait until March of 2025 to be thinking about a succession plan. And Amby's going to be here forever, so we don't need to worry about her. But seriously, as our important players get closer to enjoying their retirement, I think we need to have on our radar screen, be cognizant of the fact that our key personnel aren't always going to be with us. So that's just another thought. And the other thing I'll close with the crazy world that we live in, we've all been watching, whether you watch Fox or CNN or wherever it is, we know what's going on in the world with the Israeli war against Hamas. You hear these poignant pieces about anti-Semitism on the rise, the whole Islamophobia thing that's on the rise. We have some of our most stalwart members and contributors in our community are Jewish or Muslim. And, yes, there was that group, Hate Has No Home Here. I hope that Buckhannon continues to abide by that approach. I'm not aware of any issues here in Buckhannon, but at the same time, I've gone out of my way with some of our Jewish and Islamic residents to, you guys got any problems, you shout nice and loud so we know to intervene. That's all I have, Mr. Sanders.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McCauley. Mr. Rigger.
Just want to congratulate Ethan Smith again on his promotion to lieutenant. And it's good to have the documents approved and soon to be signed so we can get Stockard underway, step by step. And I'm looking forward to the holiday season. Thanksgiving's what, 3 weeks away?
3 weeks.
Yes.
3 weeks away. How about that? And so that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Rigger. Mr. Thomas, go to the phone.
Well, I thank Ethan Smith, congratulate him, and I'll make some comments about what David said when I'm at the council meeting in person, but, we need common sense in the world, and I'm afraid we don't have much of it anymore. And that's enough of that. But I thank everybody for attending tonight, being on the phone, and have a great weekend. I would shout out to people that might want to consider volunteering and doing some things for Great Buckhannon and become a member. And they meet every Thursday at I believe it's 11 o'clock at CJ's. And I also would ask people to think about becoming a member of the Fred Brook Garden Club. They do a lot of wonderful things for the community. And that's it. You'll have a great weekend. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. C.J. Rollins.
I would mirror David's comment. We should have already hired a new public works director and been working with Jerry to transfer those skills and knowledge to the new person. So I strongly advise us to start the search and advertise this and get this process going, because we're going to find ourselves in a very tight spot, and then we won't make the best decisions. So other than that, that's all I have.
Thanks, C.J. I will agree with that. I think that it's paramount, and I have discussed it a little bit with Mayor Skinner, and we'll bring it up again. And of course, you'll see the notes in the minutes and so forth. But I would encourage the members to reach out to the mayor and share those concerns. We'll make sure we keep it on the radar as far as our key people. We do absolutely need to make sure that a transition from city life into retirement is seamless for them, but also seamless for the city. I think that's very, very important for that. Also congratulate Lieutenant Ethan Smith, and congratulate Mayor Skinner, who is doing some great things with many of the organizations he's involved in. The Municipal League. He's vice president, I guess, will soon be president. But just being selected as a delegate at the Southern Mayor's Conference. That's the Southern Conference for the United States. So being a delegate from West Virginia, I think is fantastic. I want to remind folks that 2 a.m. on November 5th, time change. Don't forget that. That's sneaking up on us. I know, that's the lovely time of year.
Change your batteries.
Yeah, change your batteries too, and your fire detectors and all key appliances and so forth. And I'm going to close with a challenge that we received for council, and it is a friendly challenge submitted by the Upshur County Commission. And it was a challenge. The challenge was given today at the commission meeting. Now, this is not an actionable item on the agenda, but I think amongst those of us attending the meeting tonight, whether here or by phone, we can certainly give our indication that we will rise to this challenge. Upshur County Commission challenges the City Council to a collection challenge for friendly competition to see who can collect the most non-perishable items for the parish house by noon, November 30th. Let me read that again. Upshur County Commission challenges the City Council of Buckhannon to a friendly competition to see who can collect the most non-perishables for the parish house by noon November 30th. Certainly, we can rise to that challenge, right?
So are we gonna bring them here and leave them?
Oh, I think we need to have them right out here in the lobby where we can show the folks coming in, you know, how well we're doing. All right?
Let's just have a camera on those boxes.
So I take it that I can respond to President Teddy that we have risen to the challenge?
Sure, absolutely.
Huh?
I think we can.
CJ and Mr. Thomas, are you in?
I hear you.
Okay. All right. CJ?
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a yeah. So we accept that challenge, and we will let the county commission know. We'll roll our sleeves up and go to work. So, you know, Abby, spread the word amongst our troops, too, to help us out. You know. All right. So it's been a great meeting. Thanks, everyone, for being patient as we work through this meeting. We have a lot to do, and I think we did a good job of tonight getting it taken care of. No other further business to present. I'll call for a motion to adjourn at 8:11.
Hello?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We are adjourned.